Hello everyone and welcome back to the show. This is Ty, the Note with the Maker, the Romantic Muchika. Beautiful show about marriage. We talk about marriage. We are here to give marriage the best PR ever. I keep on saying this, man. Marriage is doing badly on social media. Guys are hitting marriage left, right, and center. But the reason as to why I started this show was to show you guys that marriage is good, marriage is sweet. Despite the challenges, you can go through it. Now, there's a time I hosted a financial coach. I hosted Pumla Nabachwa, and she was giving us her perspective as a financial coach. Today, I have a very, very powerful couple. You guys know them. Banange, you've asked for them. People like Banange, bring us these ones. Bring us these ones. Yeah, so finally, I've brought them. And they're going to be talking to us about how you can build a family vision. Secondly, how you as a couple can manage your finances very well and build generational wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is Mr and Mrs Ekima.
Thank you so much.
Welcome guys to the show.
Thank you.
So, how is it going, guys?
Very good. I'll say marvelous. We are moving.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, and we are really inspired that you started this channel to inspire the rest. Yeah, people must know that marriage is strong and good.
Yeah. I remember I hosted your wedding. Is it 6 years back?
7 years.
7 years back.
Yeah.
That's the last time I saw Daphne. It's the last time I saw Emma. We've just been talking on phone and seeing each other. Yeah, but it's great to have you guys. I remember when you guys were still, I don't know why you guys stopped. You were putting out content on your channel. I also got inspired. I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, but you stopped. Anyway, you've been married for 7 years now.
7 years.
7 years. How have been the 7 years?
Let me say they've been wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful 7 years of growth and learning. I would say marriage is just like anything. It's a learning process. Every day you learn. You have to grow. If you do not feed from it and if you don't take care of marriage, then definitely it will not develop into anything good. So it has been growth and learning. And having my lovely wife here for the last 7 years, I made the right pick, really.
I know, right? I know, by the way, guys, one interesting thing about them is they are both lawyers. They were both in the same year. The other one, you tell it to them. Tell it to the viewers.
I don't know. Is it that we share a birthday?
They must. Well? We also share a birthday, so it's a perfect match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Wow. I like that.
So,
but thank
how did you
for
meet?
having us.
You're welcome.
How we met. So you've kind of hinted on it. We first met. He remembers that version of the story. I don't know if you want to tell your story first, but we first met. He says we first met in 2014, right?
Yes.
2014, in an interesting setup. We were debating. We were versing each other. I was on the other team. He was on this team. I think you should tell that part. Because you remember it.
Yes, so we first met at Victoria University. We used to go for these international debates. So we were debating. She was on the opposite side. I was also on the opposite side. So we had mainly two debaters. She had a fellow debater. I also had my fellow debater, my good friend, now is worship. So we were debating and so I turned to him, I said, my brother, I like that girl. He's like, by the time you say you like that girl, I said, why? I said, she's debating. She's trying to force her point, even when she knows that
it's not right.
It is not holding.
Was it not holding? Was it not holding?
So we didn't get a chance to meet.
Yeah.
I think it was really God's fate that we didn't get started. Because at that time, I was really a very good boy here.
In quotes, eh?
In quotes, eh?
I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, because I believe if we had met during that time, So, but anyway, God's timing is the best.
Yeah.
Fast forward, we meet back again in 2017. Yes, at LDC, that's when now again we meet each other. I think baby now there, you remember.
Yeah. So when we met, okay, so just first backwards.
Yeah.
I don't remember him from the debate. But I remember that debate vividly and the people who are opposite, but I don't remember the faces.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I had been going through, I think around my 3rd year, God had been calling me to a place of, getting back to him, seeking him. And I remember when I share this story, I always tell people that just be warned that it might sound super spiritual for those who are not
so spiritual. Yeah.
just a warning. So anyway, around my third year, I was God was calling me back to himself, you know, campus, you're having fun, what?
Yeah.
So one of the instructions I got from God at that time was I needed to isolate myself and seek God. And that also meant I needed to stop dating, which was a tough decision at that time because there's someone I was seeing and there was no reason for leaving them. It was just stop this relationship. So in your fast forward, I end that relationship out of instruction from God. And third year, fourth year, I'm single. After campus, we're going into LDC.
Yeah.
And I remember vividly having a dream about the fact that I was ready now to get into my dating season and leading up to marriage.
Yeah.
And in that dream, I saw this gentleman.
In your dream?
In my dream.
Are you serious?
I did not have any, like I told you, I didn't, this was 2014. And even if it had gone to my subconscious, 2014.
You'd never remember.
I would never. So I saw this gentleman and he was dressed up in a suit as he usually does. And I remember telling my siblings and I'm like, I had a dream about my wedding. And if I met this person, I could really
know that
this is the guy. You know those dreams you have where you're like, I don't know this person, but if I met them, I would
know that it's him.
Yeah, so fast forward, we reached campus and how I now meet him physically, we were having discussions. I was on the other end. We had a discussion group somewhere and they had theirs. And there's this gentleman who sells G-nuts, a very old guy. He approaches me and tells me I have G-nuts of like 500 from a guy those ends. I'm like, who is this bald guy who sends G-nuts?
He sent you G-nuts?
Yes.
The man in your dreams. The one of your dreams sending you G-nuts on the first meet.
But at that time, I didn't connect.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to share why he was sending me G-nuts,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
basically, you know, that's what we had. I mean, we're in a discussion, so the scare happens to come around. And the truth be told, he sells very nice G-nuts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so
500 shillings.
1,000 now. Don't put me at 500.
Yeah.
So, I happen to, we are there having a discussion. So, I buy the G-nuts. I say, so no, must take for me this G-nuts from the beautiful lady. I'm like, if she throws the G-nuts, she has bad manners. I mean, who throws food? Now, in case she abuses, she would not have abused me. She would have abused who?
You.
The guy was brought. But who would abuse this muzei?
Hey.
I'm like, but anyway, this will also start a conversation. At least it will
But
break
you
the
remember
ice.
her?
strategy.
Yes.
Did you remember me?
Yes, very well. Very well. So I'm like, Sengutungu, you take the G-nuts.
I've met this chick again.
So he takes the G-nuts. So he says, from there, I'm like, I'm the one. So everybody was there telling me, but you, man, how do you send G-nuts?
Weak game.
That's a weak game. I'm like,
Game, eh?
leave me.
But you know, ironically, I was equally surprised. I'm like, Ipanang, if you're to vibe someone, like at least walk up to me and introduce yourself. Don't send me 500 shilling G-nuts. But what is interesting is that actually that caught my attention because I was like, this guy probably trusts himself enough to think that the G-nuts
can work for
him.
But, Daffy, when you saw his face,
did I reconcile?
Did you reconcile it with the one you saw in the dream?
No, not in the moment.
Okay.
So when we finish, I walk up to him and I tell him, thank you, by the way, for the G-nuts. Weird, but thanks. And I walked away. Now, in that moment, in our interaction, that's when the dream plays back. And I'm like, holy Jesus, wait, is this it? Or no, I must be. You know, I was so confused. So I'm like, is this the guy or am I just putting things together? So I walked away and left.
Yeah.
After that, we meet again, still in a school setting. I was seated, I think we had just finished an exam. He walks up to me. This is at LDC. He walks up to me, we used to have intense, the life there was too intense. He walks up to me and tells me, oh, how are you? Blah, blah. Oh, you remember me? Yeah, I'm like, I remember you. So we talk. And in there, I think we talked about our birthdays. Somehow he shares his birthday, and I thought he had stalked me on social media. And I'm like, but this guy is weak. First the G-nuts, now he's faking his birthday to be like mine.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm like, he asks me out for the first date. So I'm like, well, no problem. Of course, he was good looking.
Of course.
But in my mind, that dream kept playing. I'm like, ah. So I remember sitting and telling God, I have not dated in like 3-4 years. I don't want to make a mistake, and this guy is not it. And maybe I'm hallucinating or putting things together. And I remember telling God, if he's really the one, I want you to speak to him about us, if it's really him. Because I'm not going to get myself to tell him anything, and neither, like, let life, natural process play itself. But also, if it's really him, I want you to speak to him. At that time, we hadn't gone into the details of, are you a Christian, what? No. So we went to Nawab, had our first dinner, came back, and I remember when we parked in the car, and this is when I said, I don't know, okay, I can see potential in this man. I remember when we got to Nawab, after Nawab, he came and dropped me at my hostel, and he tells me, he was among the few people who were driving.
at LDC.
Anyway, he drops me and then he tells me, I like you so much. Wow. You're so beautiful. Wow. But I am going to seek God. If he does not endorse our relationship, this will be the last time we're having a date or anything. I was like, wait a minute. Because I actually had like, you know how you meet someone and you don't want to, women, you don't tell them I like you.
Yeah, but you like them.
Yes. So I'm like, okay,
Well,
I appreciate your love for God, but meant I all that? Like, but when I went back and sat, I was like, I like a man who puts God first before himself. That is the exact man that I wanted. So I went back and I remember the sky spinning.
The butterflies.
And I was like,
wow.
That this is not, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you. But anyway, so I went away and kept my prayer. Fast forward, you need to talk about how God spoke to you about me anyway.
So anyway, by that, as I said, I was a good boy in quotes. By the time we met again now, I was now really
you
good
like,
boy.
Good boy.
Actually, me, I was like, if I meet a girl and we date, it must lead to marriage. Yeah, and I'm like, the old is gone. I'm now a new person. I'm a Christian.
Yes.
Please, whoever viewed me in another angle, please. That is in the past. I am a new person.
Yeah.
So my intention was clear. I said, I want to date, but if I'm to date, that dating must lead to marriage. Now, I remember having a conversation with her, and she told me sometime, and I'm like, but we should get married. She's like, me to get married?
When you were still dating?
It was the last thing I wanted to
before even, I'm like, we get married. I want us to.
He had dates. He had said dates. By this age, I must be married. I must do this.
So I'm like, I want to get married. I don't want things which are, where are we in the relationship if we're not going to get married?
Yeah.
So she's like, for me, no. I have to first go finish. After we finish here, I want to go and do masters. I have to go and do this. I'm like, all those things can be done in marriage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how did I confirm? So I after I told her that, you know what, the truth is, I like you, as she has rightly said, but I'm going to seek God. If God says no, then I am sorry for wasting your time. This is the last time we shall have this conversation of relationship, marriage. So I go and pray about it. I pray. By the time, up to now, really, at least God communicates. So God tells me, I'm like, normally God, when you tell somebody, at least you send a messenger. Help me send another messenger to confirm this dream that I've had.
What was the dream?
No, I dreamt when I was with her. It's a bit tension.
Okay.
You know, with the dreams you don't share them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but all I know is that we are holding each other and we are running. So I was like, okay, wow, I need to confirm with another person. God, I know you have spoken. When you speak, you send people. You don't only just, you speak to somebody, but you still confirm.
Yeah.
I need some more confirmation to confirm that indeed this decision I'm going to make is the right one. And since you're the author of marriages, you know God is the author of marriage. So I said, okay. I prayed, another person came. There's a friend of mine who was praying. He had never met her. And I've never even told him about it, Julia. So we happened to be praying and he had come to see me. We were talking. Then Daphne was passing around. She had, I think, either fellowship, I don't know. I don't remember, a discussion. So she passed by. So as she entered, the guy said, "Oh yeah, hello, I was just checking by." Then she left. Then Julius told me, "That is the one." I said, "What do you mean that is the one?" He's like, "That is the woman, that is your wife." I'm like, "Okay."
Wow.
I'm like, "Wow." But I need to confirm again. So I go somewhere. I am like, I need to go to a place where they don't know me. Julius, my friend, maybe somehow I might have told him, I need to go to a place where I don't know anyone. So I went to some place they were praying, and I'm like, fellowship, yes. So I'm like, let me go here. So as they were prophesying, I'm like, okay, let me go. There was a gentleman and a lady who were praying. So I meet her and then praying, yeah. I held my hand, we prayed. He said, you have questions, but God has told you, the one you're with, she's the one. I'm like, That's when now I came to her.
Not even told her which question.
I had not told her anything. She didn't know me. So at that point, I'm like, okay, let me go and tell Daphne. So I come and tell her, you know what?
By this time, we were dating, actually. We had already started dating.
So I tell her, you know what? Now, God has confirmed you're the one for me. Now, at some point, she never told me.
My version of the story.
That she had dreamt. I was like, why didn't you tell me so that you make my work easy? I'm trying to go through very many things, and yet for you, God had confirmed to you early. Yeah. Anyway, she says, I don't know, you say that.
No. So this is the thing, and I know many people always ask about it. Like, you've seen, like in churches, someone walks up to women, and I know some people can relate, and says, God has told me you're my wife. Even when God has not told them.
That you're their wife.
And then someone gets themselves in a marriage, and the only thing they're clinging to is that someone told them. I've also seen cases where like 5 people are telling the same girl that God has told.
But people accuse God alone.
So for me, it was important that he has God for himself, because at the end of the day, we all have a relationship. So anyway, to answer your question in a very long way, how we met, that was it.
Wow.
What LDC, fast forward 7 years later, this is where we are. Yeah.
Wow. I will not ask about, anyway, I know. The viewers would want to know about the whole proposal, how the wedding came about. Yeah, just share with them. So after confirming with each other that you're meant for each other, what happened next? Talking to parents, getting ready.
Yeah, so what happened is that I proposed now. Again, that's another long story.
Cut it short.
I tell Daphne's friend and the sister, one of the sisters, that you know what? We need to surprise what? Definitely, I'm going to propose. So she told me, propose. I'm like, me, I can't propose. Those are things for weak people. Because, I knew Daphne, my wife here, she likes to follow up everything. Like, she wants to be in the
hard to surprise.
And she's hard to surprise. So I'm like, I try to get her off. I'm like, no, for me, I have no plans. Then number 2, I told her, I'm going away. I have a court case. So I'm not going to be around. So I will not be. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. So she knew.
That was after LDC.
That, still within LDC, because we got married at LDC. So I'm like, I'm not going to be there. So she knew I was not going to be there. So I coordinated with a friend. I said, please, I picked the dress because I had actually bought the dress. I knew the dress I wanted her to wear, the shoes. So I'm like, this is the one. I think she will like it. I asked the friend, will she like this one? She's like, perfect. So the sister also helped me. We set up, we did what? So I told a friend, you tell her that we are going to, you have a meeting with her, or you're going to catch up with her. So I go. So we kept communicating. I told Daphne, hi, I'm going to delay you. I'm going to delay you. You wait. So my lovely wife here was bargaining with the friend. But your things, you're never clear.
She delayed. Organizing
it. This is not perfect. Let's remove this. So the person kept. So I told a friend, just keep her. So Daphne was like, I'm going to go. You're never serious. You make program of this and this. What's funny, I even bypassed them like this.
They didn't see you.
They didn't see me. So I went there. So anyway, password, finally she arrived. She was putting on her suits, and then the friend said, you changed this one. We're going to find. Daphne was still insisting, well, but why must I change? For what? So fast forward, anyway, she allowed. So she came in. When she came in, I was there, ready, kneeling down, but I was shaking.
I know.
You know, even when you, I'm like, what if she runs away? You know, the things are not easy. Even when you're sure.
Hey, they ran away. She first ran away.
Even me, she ran away.
Hey,
so she arrived like this. She saw me. She ran away. Oh my God. I'm like, oh.
First of all, the room was dark. They had switched off the lights. So when we arrived, the lights went on. And I'm like, what is happening here? This person said he was traveling. What is he doing? Like, it was too much to.
So when she runs away,
she scattered. My heart started bumping non-stop. I'm like,
yeah. To get to the end of my life.
Wrong. But in my heart, I was like, at least we are few.
They reject me. No one else.
We have
never post on social media.
No one never be posted. Who you post on social media?
That Emma was rejected.
At least I know the sister is there. The friend is there. So who will post really? The camera guy was also there. Who happens to be our friend? So I'm like, who will post the things? In my heart, I was confident. I was like, So she ran. I was like, have they rejected me? Oh,
is it shock?
Is it shock? So finally she comes back. I'm like, God. Really now, if they're rejecting me, they are going to tell me in my face.
In my face.
And so she was crying. I'm like,
why is she crying?
Why is she crying? I mean, this is not something. It's a social. I said, baby, will you marry me? Took some 1 minute, 2 minutes. I'm like, ooh.
You're getting impatient.
Baby.
Now we say yes or no.
She said yes. So the rest is history. When she said yes, we were happy, we hugged, we kissed, we had dinner, and
boom.
We're like, okay, now, are we going to face the parents? Maybe you'll come in there.
I think the parents' part was it was easier. Yeah, the parents' part was easier. I don't know, it was not complicated. I just had to inform them. My parents were surprised.
Wow.
Because everyone in my home, my family knew that I was this person who was, I want to get my career in line.
Yes,
marriage will come last.
You give them a shock of their life.
They were like, who is this man who has made her change her mind? Yeah, but the rest is history, really. It was a bit easier.
Yeah.
We are intermarried. He's an intersort. So we had a bit of extended family that had opinions.
How did those issues come in and affect the whole preparations?
No. The good thing was most of the people who had opinions were extended family.
Extended?
So extended.
Yeah, but close family?
No. Close family was very in support.
In support, yeah.
But the extended family, I mean, up to this day, we'll just say, man, keep your opinion to yourself.
On your side or his side?
Both
sides.
Even
both
his
sides,
people had opinions, my people also had opinions, but we're just like, man,
this
you
is
get
us.
in line. You get in
You
line.
will be fine.
Be okay.
Yeah.
But also for us, I think for me as a person, what gave me the strength, I was sure that God has spoken.
Yeah.
So it's like if God has said, whoever said, actually I even in my mind I had it, whether it's your father, whether it's your mother, they will get in line. Like whether it's my mother, whether it's who, they will get in line.
God will get them in line.
God will get them in what? In line. Because I mean, He can't send you without Him providing or without Him making sure that this happens. So at least at that point, I was very confident. I was like, God has spoken. We have also agreed. Really, everything will get in line.
Interesting. So, during the 7 years you guys have been married, what have been the best moments? The best moments you look at and you're like, now.
I'm curious to hear. I guess I know what you want to say, but let me hear.
So anyway, first of all, we are now all lawyers. She's now working.
Yeah.
The best moments for me really has been us having our beautiful babies. We have 3 beautiful babies. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that has been an addition to us, and they have changed a bit of our everything about us. So for me, I will crown it and say having those babies has really been the best. I will not say the first one came, it was unique. The second one, unique. So every baby comes with their own unique things. So I will say the babies are for me are that most important. Yes, qualifications. We have added qualifications, masters. She has a master's. I have a master's.
Nice.
I have 2 masters and a lot. But the most important for me I'm interested in you as also is really the babies, having the babies.
She's also your baby. So
Yeah. She's the first baby.
See, that's in blushing.
Baby was displaced.
The first
The way
baby.
they quickly displaced.
So for me, that is the most, I think, the most
Yeah.
outstanding thing in our marriage, really.
I think for me as well, honestly, there's so many things, but
Yeah.
there's something that bringing a life together, the both of you, there's something it does to your relationship that just never remains the same. Notwithstanding the challenges that come with it, but yeah, it did definitely mature us in some ways. Yeah.
But also maybe to add on is that the other second one really is that when we defined our family vision, we decided to say, okay, me and my wife, we are going to
This
have
is where we're going.
This is where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can't move without unless you have a direction.
You have a direction.
Yeah. So what was our purpose? You said, God, you wanted us to get married. There's a reason why you brought me and her together particularly. And to make sure we are both lawyers, share the same birthday. I mean, there is a lot in common that really it is not a coincidence. So us also discovering our purpose.
Yeah.
Why God called us together. Of course, to take care of these young kids, but also the bigger purpose. It's, I think, what's more profound for us.
Interesting.
And
now,
the work that we do together.
So now that's actually our topic today. Now to the viewers, I'm going to be reading questions off my phone. People complain, hey, on the phone. The questions are here. These are crucial questions. But before we get into the topic for today, because today's topic is, because they're going to help us, young couples out there and to the singles out there, they're going to talk to us about how you can build a family vision and how couples can make it financially. But before that, the saying of lawyers dating but now the lawyers lost dating each other.
Really?
Lawyers lost dating each other. People lost lawyers.
Oh, people fear lawyers.
People fear lawyers.
Lawyer men.
Lawyer, he's here, lawyer. Oh, he's here. Nothing. What do you have to say about that?
About dating a lawyer.
Dating a lawyer.
And marrying one.
Hey, isn't the English too much? Isn't there like a fight of the egos? People have a lot to say.
I think I want to think that dating a lawyer when you're not one, maybe is the troublesome one, and maybe it's easier because we are both. That's if I told the stereotype of lawyers is true. What people say. Yeah.
People are chopping breakfast every now and then.
For lawyers.
I've
seen it.
Breaks, yeah.
But yeah, so it's, I mean, the unique thing I think that I've seen in our relationship, which I would attribute to us being lawyers, and of course I'm sure it exists in other relationships, but I would attribute it to our practice, our training, is that we have this thing where we can agree to be wrong, like we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Like, you know how some people are like, oh, I don't want to conflict, or I don't want to disagree with my person. For us, from the word go, it's okay. It is okay. We can agree to disagree because, and I think it's because we are trained that way. We don't have to be on the same page. We can have divergent views and we'll still be buddies and move on. Wow. So I think that is the one thing that I think I would attribute to our training, looking at things logically and saying, you know what, this is what you're saying, but I don't agree with it. And for reason ABCD. Maybe later, after a few days, we can regroup and find a common ground. Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Now, to our topic today, family vision. Could you first define for us and the viewers out there what a family vision is? To the young people out there who want to get into marriage. Yeah, because for one to get into a marriage, you must have a vision for the family. So could you define what a vision is?
So a family vision generally is I'll give an example. All of us, first of all, I don't want to take it for granted that we have individual visions. There are people who don't. Yeah. They're just living, even before they get married. They're just winging it. Yeah. So what a personal vision would be where you want to see yourself, say in 50 years, 20 years, what kind of legacy do you want to build? What kind of person do you want to be known for? And if it comes to financial, what are your steps towards your financial freedom? Or what is even that? What does financial freedom look like to you? the difference between, say, having a wish and a dream that all of us have naturally, we all have, we dream somehow. Oh, I want to do this, I want to fly a jet, I want to do this. The difference between that and this is that it is well defined, well articulated, and it is actionable. Like, you're not just dreaming, we want to be the presidents of, I know when we were growing up, we probably all dreamed I'll be the president of Uganda, but clearly. Yeah, so the difference is that this is more actionable and practical, and you can actually put a name to it, that this is what it looks like. You can set 5-year goals, 2-year goals, 1-year goal to achieving it, and actually see yourselves achieving it. In a family context, it is where the two of you, because the truth is we are all different. He has his own backgrounds. When we met, he had his goals, I had my goals. He had where he wanted to go, I had where I wanted to go, and yet we find ourselves in a situation where we are stuck together for 20, 40, 50 plus years, and we are building something that is called family. We are raising children, and somehow we realize that, you know what, we need actually to have a script or a common page where we are working. In fact, for us, one of the things that you asked about the good parts of marriage, I think the hardest part of our marriage was, despite both of us being Christian, you'd think it would be obvious that it's easy. No, it's not. It was us, the fact that we had different, he had what he wanted, I had what I wanted. Even financially, I had my own goals, he had his own goals. Then when we brought in the child in the world, we realized his parenting style was completely different from mine. Our values, in as much as, yes, we were both Christians, were a bit different. There are things that he held dear, there are things I held dear. And then there are things that he considered important that I probably didn't think were that important. So family visioning is really a place where you come as a couple, define what you want for yourselves and what you want your children, because it doesn't stop with you. You ensure that the children are also, if they're older, they follow, they have you in the process of defining that vision. If they're younger like ours, as they grow, you start introducing them into the vision. It influences how you parent them, what values you instill in them. If it's financial freedom, what financial disciplines do you teach them? Most of us grew up and money was not talked about, but somehow we are expected to know and make money and grow rich. So one of the things that was dear to us was that we define it and also have our children actually start to learn these things from the word go. So it's like it's a meeting of the minds or alignment as far as family is concerned and where you're headed.
Interesting. Now, how do you approach financial decision making as a couple, and what strategies do you use to ensure you're on the same page?
Well, first, the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree?
They agree, yes.
Yeah. So I think that's where for us our vision comes from. We're like, you see, how can two people walk together unless they agree?
They agree.
That's one thing. There's oneness. You're talking about oneness. People forget that when you get married, you become one. It ceases to be my money. It now becomes our money.
First pause there.
The people don't agree.
Now, let's first pause. Emma and Daphne, you've heard that saying. His money is our money. The woman's money is her money. Define that. In your marriage and in terms of marriage, yes.
Discuss. You see, that's the most important thing. Let's ask, where does marriage come from? From the Bible.
From the Bible, yeah.
That's where, if you've decided to go with the Bible, then you will know. God said, a man shall leave his wife, his father and mother to join with them and to become what? One. So it's no longer, it's only where the math does not math. It's 1 + 1 equals to 2 in the world. In the Bible, it's equals to 1. So that's where it's oneness. You share yourselves, you share your bodies with each other. You sleep with each other. You enjoy with each other.
Yeah.
So what is this finance?
Yes.
Just a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
Money. Medium of exchange. You sleep with each other. You produce.
You produce.
You have offspring. It comes from you. You share.
Yeah.
So people have decided to glorify money and then forget the real design of why God created marriage. And that's why you'll find that somebody will say, your money is our money. My money is our money. Where do you get it from?
So Daphne, your money is your money. His money is still your money.
Yes,
Yes.
we don't have
Yes.
our.
So where do you get that define where you have to define that? It's the athlete thing. So that's why we try to debunk that.
Yeah.
We say no. You can't operate. You can't go and play football and you operate the rules of basketball.
Yes.
If you have decided to play marriage, which is marriage that God has designed, then the rules that govern it is God's rules.
Yes.
So I wanted to first debunk that before.
Yeah.
And so for us, this is what we stand by, and this is what we teach people who are in our program, that there is no such thing as my money. We
Yeah.
don't have my money. It is our money.
Our money.
Why is that important? And some people, even those who are not Christians, because there's probably someone who's not a Christian who is watching and is just like, well, this is what happens. When you get married, first of all, when we got married, we were all in school. And definitely, where we are today financially is not where we were then.
Yeah.
He is not where he was, I am not where he was. Now, if you front money and say it is my money, imagine at the time of getting married, because marriage goes through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
You're going to be rich, you're going to be poor.
Poor.
And in fact, in the vows, they tell you that,
For rich or for poor.
yes, there are times when we were all earning almost the same amount of money. Right now, my husband earns almost, I don't know how many times more than I do. The money I earn in a month, he can get it in probably 1 week.
Nice.
But that was not the case before. But what has remained, and why we are so big on finding alignment as couples, is that despite the changes, I have never looked at my husband any differently than I did when we got married.
Yeah.
If today he lost his ability to work, it's not going to be a problem for me, because in my mind, money has never been a god. It's not. I do not see him through the lens of money, neither does he see me through the lens of money. If today he failed to provide, God forbid, it would never change how I look at him. But I'll tell you the truth. At least we've dealt with couples, we do counseling. We have seen that many times. When should a man, you think your marriage is okay, should a man lose his ability to provide? That is where we draw the line.
That's where you draw the line.
That is where most women draw the line.
Yeah.
Or should a man increase in her income? A man who feels like the wife was honoring her because of his money, do you know what he will do? Cut her back, stop her from advancing. You've seen couples who compete.
Yeah.
So, and for us, what we say is that all that defies the meaning of marriage. It's supposed to be oneness, but also, why should you look over your shoulders because of money? The things that we make a god are the ones that control us.
Yeah.
So most marriages have made money a god. I look at my husband, I love him only because he provides. That day he fails to provide, I look at him in a different lens. He's not Tarimu Saja, you know that?
Tarimu Saja.
He has ceased to be a man. And for us, what we are saying is that build a foundation where whether money is there or it is not,
There.
your marriage still stands the test of time. Yeah. And of course, there's the culture conditioning. Most of the women, one of the things that we always do, tell couples in premarital counseling, is that expectation are the leaders, unspoken or unmet expectations are the ones that cause divorce. Yeah. So most women come into the marriage, she has a list of the guy she wants, and probably money is among. Men come into the marriage because culture has told them, you must, to be a man, you need to have a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
That day they get married, probably, if I get there and I expected money and he does not provide to the extent that I wanted, or something happens, guess what? The marriage is going to crumble. And finances are the leadest cause of divorce. If you do the statistics. So for us, what we say, our money, you asked whether our money, my money, we think and we recommend that statement should be scrapped out of any person's vocabulary who
Those that
intends
are
to have a marriage that actually thrives. Yeah, because you can't control the factors of life.
So there's nothing like my money. It's supposed to be our
It's
money.
our
our
money.
money, yeah.
Even when we sit and budget, it is our money. When my income increases, when his income increases, even when he's getting maybe when he was still employed bonus, or now that he's self-employed, when money is going to come, I know already our accounts are joined.
Wow.
We have our personal accounts, but I have passwords to his accounts.
ATM,
there are even
everything.
systems in banks, if you check with some banks, that
Interlink.
allow you to interlink your accounts.
Wow.
So at any point, I know what's happening in his side. So do you get what I mean? Because I feel like most couples, it's that place, the money area. Everything else is okay, but here. And the question is why?
Why?
And for us, money does not control us.
Yeah.
We control our
The
money.
money. Perfect.
We direct it where we want it to
You talked
go.
about sharing passwords. There are people who hide passwords from their partners, passwords to their accounts, passwords to their mobile money. Because recently there is a person who died. A friend was telling me that they lost a relative, and on his mobile money account, he had like 20 million. In his bank account, he had 480 million. And the family wanted to get access to the money. You get. He had never given the wife the passwords. But his last daughter in P3 saw him unlocking his mobile money app.
Wow.
And she just figured, you know how kids see you unlocking your phone using codes, and the kid just unlocks your phone and you're shocked? That's how the P3 kid did.
Wow.
So they were there, they went to the company offices, they went to Bank of Uganda. So when this chick came back from school, the mom was stressed. How can I get this money? She's like, Mommy, bring the phone.
Wow.
There you are. And she's like, we've been stressing, we've gone to court. Like, how did you get? She's like, no, I saw Daddy opening it before he died. And so, should couples share passwords to their accounts?
You can speak. This one has interpreted in court.
Yes, I would say that's the best. We advise. As I told you, you share everything. I mean, what's so much important with the password that you don't want to share with your partner? But also, we have interfaced it. We have seen this happen. Men die, or even women die. You've kept property. Your parent, your wife does not know. Your children do not know about it.
Yeah.
So what happens? You're going to take them through another lengthy process. Yet, if you had shared, if you had gone through one vision that we talk about, and in all that in our plan we have that.
Yeah.
You've taken them through that. Okay, this is what we have. Because at this point, you can't shock my wife of what I have. She knows what I have.
She knows what you have.
What we have. Even if I just got it, she will get to know. Because we have mechanism where we reconcile. We have daily meetings where we shall sit, weekly, quarterly, that say, okay, this is what I've gotten, this is where we are. So we reconcile. So it helps you a lot. You find that now in that scenario, they would have had to go first to court, now to first get, maybe say, if he died without a will, maybe obtain letters of administration. If he has a will, first to go and get letters of probate. That is a long process. Yet you have money. Yet if your wife had the password, if that girl didn't have the password, they would have gone through that lengthy process, get somebody to hire and all that. So people do it, but they don't know that we do a lot of a disservice to ourselves, to our loved ones. Why do we work? We work to make sure that our kids can have the better life. We work to make sure that even us, me and my wife, enjoy whatever we want to enjoy.
Yes.
So it starts from that. So in this vision that we teach, money vision and all this, we try to tell you that don't look at now. Look at the end goal.
Yeah.
Imagine 10 years from now, 30 years from now, you're no longer there. How will your family survive? It's good for your child even to know password.
Yeah.
But are you teaching your wife and children to take care of the business that you have? Because that's also another thing. Passwords is another, but how are you training your children, your wife, to make sure that there's continuity in business in case you died? In case you're incapacitated, sometimes we look at death as the biggest thing.
Yeah.
In case you're incapacitated, you can no longer do what you are doing.
Yeah.
Can they pick up from there? And so that's where we get it wrong. So in our webinar, when we try to discuss that, we try to break it down for you that you can go this step and this step and this step.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you talked about the fact that they were going through court and all. If you ask people who work in banking, the amount of money that is left on people's accounts.
A lot of money. A lot of money. Unclaimed money.
Unclaimed money. Yet this is something
Who takes that money?
Eventually it ends up with, because after some time, there's a time frame upon which no one has claimed it and you take it on.
The bank takes it on.
Yes. So these are things that you could have done before. Sit down, have an estate plan, plan, this is how, if I passed on, or even the way you structure your businesses. And I know why some people are sensitive about this topic. I have interfaced with someone I was talking to, and I noticed she was the breadwinner, putting in all the money. So we're not saying that we don't understand where people are coming from to be like guarded.
Yeah, guarded, yeah.
She was doing everything, and this gentleman happened to have land. The family gave him land. She was earning the most, but the man was always hiding money, like not clear. And yet for her, she was putting the money there, saying everything, she was there. And eventually the guy gets money, land from his family. And she says, please add me on the title. And the man did not want to add her. And then she's like, okay, I've been working for the whole family, putting everything that there is, but this man is not, does not want me to even to be on the title. Yeah, of course, some people might not know the implications, but whoever owns the land legally owns everything that is on and above the land. So if I come and put my house on your land, it now becomes your house. Yeah. So one of the things that we encourage couples is that while even in oneness, yeah, we advocate for oneness and putting money together, there's a place for accountability. We cannot say we are one, but you're the one who is hiding your bank accounts. Number two, you're the one who is our property. You're the one, all the names of the land that we own is in your names. Yeah. So it has to be the same across board. Not bring your money, but on this side, you're doing other things. Yeah. So couples need to have this conversation, and preferably even before marriage. I know these situations happen after, but these are conversations that need to be had before marriage. Have that conversation. And if you're married already and you've not had this conversation, have it. There are money mindsets that inform how we behave. There's the risk taker, the saver, the spender, the flyer, the security seekers. All those people behave differently. And in a married setting, you find that both of you, you're married, but your money personalities differ. Let me give an example. Emma, before we sat down and defined what we wanted, he was a spender and a risk taker. Spenders, for them, spending money is like therapy. Yeah? Like they wake up and just gift whoever they found. Money is supposed to move in circulation, And then the risk takers, which he was also, is that they are not afraid to put their money in. Those are the guys who go into Bitcoin. Any new thing, they are already there. They're like,
make money.
Let money flow so that it makes more
money.
Me, on the other end, I was a flyer. Flyers are people who don't really care much about money. Like, it's not a big deal. Let's use it. It's
the memories,
Heaven is the goal. We are going to die eventually. So between ourselves, we never held money. You can imagine. We never saving. What are we doing? Budgeting and counting every money. What are we doing?
We're being mean to each other.
Don't be mean. Just spend. Yeah. And the way the money would come is the way we would spend it. It comes and we would all enjoy the spending because our personalities were the same. So it's important for couples to also sit and check with themselves, what is your financial psychology? There are people who you find, one is a saver, another is a spender. Those ones are going to clash also. The saver will be telling this one, but you're not serious, you're not. And most times we get caught up in that attacking each other. We forget that in those differences, there's strength. Today, even after we aligned and knew where we were headed, how we need to budget, set financial goals, etc., Emma is the one who is always going to be able to take the step to invest in something that I would not, because he's a risk taker. And I'm sure we all know the higher the risk, usually the higher the return in terms of investment. So it's important to have that discussion. Some people, the money conflict, I've realized sometimes happens, because of cultural conditioning. What you were saying, people don't trust each other, but sometimes it's a difference in mindsets. One person is a saver, the other is a saver, and they're like, okay, how do we come together? But defining where you're headed, the both of you, does go a long way.
Interesting. Now, people have big financial goals, but would like to know, how do you prioritize saving and investing to achieve them, to achieve those big financial goals?
Yeah. Now, so what we do first, we have a policy. We pay ourselves first. That is number one. In most cases, people when they get money, you are going to. I don't want to mention the companies on your show, hey, but you're going to that restaurant to spend it.
Obviously,
you are paying them first. You're going to go to a boutique to buy clothes.
Yeah,
you're paying them first. Okay, whichever. So for us, what we do is as we said, we have a vision. That this is our vision. In the next 5, 3, 10, 20 years, we must have achieved A, B, C, D. Let's say we want to buy land. We break it down and say, we want to buy land. Where? Because if you leave it ambiguous that I want to buy land, which kind of land do you want? Is it farmland? Is it for a home? Is it for selling? Oh, what is it that you want? So we defined it. Go to the depth. We say we want land. Okay, we want land for what? We want land for a home. Okay, we are done. Where? Pick the location. We look at it as a marketing tool. The 3 P's, place, price, all of those that you look at, the 5 P's. So we look at it and say, okay, we are done with that. Now we go back to our budget. We say, what is our budget? The first, we distribute it in categories. We have fixed costs, which we all know. That is electricity, rent, and all that. Those ones are there, groceries and all that. Then we have a savings. Savings is totally different from investment. We have another one, which is investment. So we get a percentage of each. We say, okay, the 10%, there's 10% for God, tithe. That is also there. So 10% is for God, is off. We're left with 90. 50% is fixed cost. It goes off. We're left with 40. 20% goes into savings, 20% goes to investment. So we work towards that. In case any other money comes in as we walk, we have already defined where it is going to go. It's either going to go for investment or it's going to go to saving. But in most cases, it goes to investment. So we set a target that in 5 years, we must have attained, let's say, acquired land. As I told you, when two work together, you go a great length than when one is working together. Imagine you trying to save to buy land, which is, let's say, 50 million or 100 million. But your salary is 1 million. When are you going to make the 100 million? It's going to take you 10 years.
Yeah.
That means you've saved that money if you're saving, you've saved that money without touching it, doing anything. But imagine you earn 1 million, your wife earns 2 million or another 1 million. That means you would have reduced it. If you decide just to save, I'm not talking even about investment.
Yeah.
If you decided that, okay, you know what, let's save, let's say 1.5 and survive around 5, you find yourselves that you would have saved to achieve that purpose. So we divide it in that way. But imagine the 20% is also investing. They've taken risk, you've invested in something. It's going to produce for you that money. So you're going to get a return on investment. You are arriving faster than waiting. That I'm alone, I'm trying to do everything alone. You'll go, yes, you'll attain whatever you can, but it gives you. So for us, we set a target. We are like, these are the things we want to achieve that we have set out, which falls in our vision. This is our vision. We want by these years, we don't want to rent. So we set that as a target. So we are obsessed by that. We are moved, we are saying we have to attain our vision. We have to get this. So we move towards that. We work, we say, okay, this is where the money arrives. That God is money first. Then we go to savings and investments. They follow. Then as we move to attain what we want. So we set a target for it and then a time frame. It's important. People set targets. It's like these annual year goals. Somebody write, in this year I must construct a house. The question is, do you have land?
No. Buy land first.
Buy land first. So you find that you've set a goal, but it's unrealistic. Even the time frame is not. Of course, it can happen. There are people who will get, but I'm trying to be practical. You may get the money, acquire land, or buy a house at once. But that one, you will know that you may not have planned for it. It's maybe, say, a deal that has arrived, and then. But if you have a plan that you know that you want to work for, even if you go to that money now, you will say, okay, ours is to do this. Can I apportion it to? Because we have seen people, you construct a house, very beautiful house when you're younger, but you can't afford to
To maintain it.
To even manage the day-to-day living. Because you poured all your savings and all your investments into this one thing.
That is just seated.
It's an asset that is seated.
Yeah.
You know, people will forget whether your house is 2 billion or 3 billion, you're just going to sleep. There's no return on investment.
There's no return on investment.
Yes. Yeah. So, and yet you can decide to spread it and say, okay, I am going to spread this risk at this amount. Okay, I call it risk because it's really risk. I'm going to spread this risk at this amount. I am going to start up a business. This investment that we are doing is going to feed into what we want to do. Let's say we want to construct a house. Let me use that example. Start a business. Say this business, every money that is going to come from this business is going to be for this construction. And there you planned your things. You find that you are not hit by shocks. If something happens, you are safe, you are stable. So we try to have that. And even in our web, when we are trying to take people through the finances and vision, it's most important. The vision. People think the money, the budgeting, or the investments is more important. No. You're saving for what? You're investing for what? What is the end goal? To what end? So for us, the vision is important. The vision must be first. Then now these other things align into the vision that you want to achieve as a family.
He has mentioned something about, so one of the things we always do is that if an extra expense is coming up that we didn't
prepare,
that we had not, that has not been there, but has now come, he mentioned, let's say, and it can even be a business or something that's going to take out our money. Maybe you've started a project like a house. So what we usually do is that we have conditioned ourselves that if a new expense or something that's going to take our money comes, we must create a source of income to feed that thing. I don't know if you get what I mean.
I get it.
So otherwise you find that you have the same income, but yet things are coming up, either projects or expenses. I don't know, you are supporting which family member or whoever. So we always say, and we always sit with each other and ask ourselves, this thing is coming up. You said it's a good thing. It's going to, is it bringing money or taking? Yes, it's taking money out. So how do we finance it? Yeah, you find that you're not pulling from the same resources that you've had to feed into that new expense.
That new expense,
yeah. And of course, there's only so much also you can cut back on costs. People have talked about cost cutting and tracking and cutting your expenses. But there's only so much you can cut back on before you collapse. Because the beginning point of financial planning is tracking your expenses. Yeah. But sometimes you track and you realize that actually, Bambi, it's not that I am spending a lot. It's just that the money is not enough. I'm only spending on basic needs. I am eating, sleeping. So in that case, when you do your tracking and you see that, you just know the solution here is increasing my income. Yeah. So beyond tracking expenses, I think we need to encourage people more to increase their income.
Interesting.
Find income sources.
To fund that expenditure.
Yeah.
There are families that get into debt. How would you advise couples who have gotten into debt? Like, how would you advise them to manage debt? And what steps have you guys taken to reduce financial stress?
So again, as we said, for us, it goes back to our vision. We sit and then we break all these things down. That you find out when we got married, we went through. That's another quiz that we offer about debt. How much do you have?
We'll give it to. Yeah. If you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Every person watching this, you'll get a free. It's like a guide, a financial health check to just help you evaluate as a family where you're standing. Yeah.
So
part of it is debt management.
So you find out and say, okay, which debt do you have? Because again, it's this communication, this all financial vision and finance and all this. It's about communication. It gets you talking about things that you don't want to talk about. That are hard to talk about. I mean, I may be having debt, but I'm quiet, boy. It's taking you. And once the debt is taking you, it takes from the family also. Because you will not provide for the family that you are supposed to provide. Number two, bitterness also gets in.
Gets in.
You are stressed. So you transfer the bitterness and annoyance to the family. Why? And yet you can sit and talk about these things and say, this is where we are. Now we need to manage. Now, we normally say, if you have debt, we advise that if you have debt, number one, before you go into anything, first manage the debt. Get it in check. If it's a debt that you can manage, put it at the percentage that you are going to remove. Most debts really, if it's a loan in Uganda, and I advise don't go to the sharks really. The sharks will rip you off.
The same energy they give you, the way they quickly give you.
The same way they give you that card as you're driving, have it. It's the same way they will come for you. So at least go for the banks. Banks at least, yes, go for maybe those ones and then try to manage. Also get a friendly loan. Also, we must also become trustworthy. The problem with us Ugandans, we are not trustworthy. That's where the problem is. There is no trust that you can go to a friend and say, give me some money. That person will give you money without even any interest. But because of trust issues, somebody says, I will give Emeka this money. Will it come back? Let me give him something that I know that in case he does not pay, it does not pay in me. That's where we have reached as a country.
So we don't have networks.
Yes. Let me just give you the one I know that, but yet there are better ways we can do and work together. So identify the debt you have, work towards the debt. If now you have a debt, let's say you have obtained a loan. If it's a mortgage loan, you obtain a loan to acquire a house, which is a good idea. I mean, you have a house, instead of paying rent, which is going to go free, you have now a mortgage that all of you are going to work towards having. Of course, as we said, as my wife has rightly put it, if it's a family home, most important thing is have the title in both names for legally to be protected. Because you may contribute into a house. Somebody is the owner of the house, you can decide and say, please go away, I'm the owner of the house. So as you go into that one, look at the legal aspect also. Have it jointly as a family and know that if it's a mortgage, we know that yes, whatever amount we're going to make, it's now going to go into, we're basically paying off our rent. It's like we're paying rent, but we are paying off. After 10 years or 20 years, the house will be ours. We are good to go. That's a good one. At least you're knowing that you're not going to finish 5 years because you're trying to build a house. 5 years into renting, but you're paying 1.5. If you calculate it in a year, how much is that? So you say, let's go for the mortgage, and then you work towards paying that 1.5 monthly for your mortgage, and you know that by the end of 5 or to 10 years, we shall now be in our home. Which is a perfect good idea. That's debt. Where I come from, where we subscribe, the Bible really talks about debt. A debtor is a slave to the lender. There's a lot of wisdom why the Bible wrote that. Yet, in the world that we live in, somehow you need debt. Because you want to start up a big project, you need money to help you get that. In other jurisdictions like America, somebody can come up with this IT, whatever, app, and you look for investors. Because again, as I've said, there's that trust that they have built. Somebody will look for investors and people will come and invest in their things. Somebody puts in money to invest. We have not yet reached that as a country, so it's a bit hard. And we look at owning every property as me. As I told you, for us in Africa, we look at me. I have this house, I have these cars, I have this, it's me, it's not we. And I think that's the most important thing. If we get away from the we, as I told you, if 3 people come back and you decided to invest in something, you can achieve it. Let's say you want to buy a restaurant. One says it's 300 million, one says I have 100, I have 100, I have 100. Another says I have 50, another says I have 150, another says I have this. If the 3 of you combined that money, you would have paid off your whatever you did. You're now in the business and you're running it and you're generating money. The only problem we have is that we are selfish enough. You want to do it alone. It is my thing. It is taking a toll on you. You are suffering and yet you can leverage from each other. The same way we say with marriage. You leverage from each other's weakness. That maybe say my wife is good at following, tracking and what finances. She's good at investment. Maybe I'm good at investment. I am good at this. How do we work together to make sure that we are in position to achieve something together? So that's where we come from. That's the problem that we have. So, but if you have debt, first try to manage debt. Debt is the first thing that you need. As you're managing debt, try to have now your emergency fund. We have a foundation that we say, at least have an emergency fund that if anything ever happens to you, at least you have something to fall back to. We normally say we build it for 5 years, but you can't build 5 years before you start with 1 month. So start with that 1 month. How much are your expenses? That is a simple thing you can do. Write down all your expenses: rent, electricity, transport, food, all grocery, whatever you calculate them and put the total. Once you get that total, then it is able for you now, you know, okay, it's 1 million that it's my expense for each month, my rent and everything to manage me. Then save up slowly, gradually, because you may not save it up immediately. Save up have 1 month. Once you've achieved 1 month, go to the second month, 3, 4, 5, 6. COVID has taught us, if you know what happened to COVID.
I know.
People who are relying on salary, no more.
No more.
How do you survive? That should be something that informs us that in case COVID happens again, okay, it may be another pandemic, it may be another thing, it may be you being incapacitated. Can you people survive? So once you have that emergency fund, that is the first. You have no business to invest when you have no emergency fund. You have a debt. Okay, at least for a debt, you may try to invest really. Because you can also decide to get creative ways of how to invest, and what you get from there is what you pay back with your debt. So you have to first manage the debt, set up that emergency fund. Once that foundation is set and sealed, then now you can proceed on investment.
I wanted to say something that there are two ways of paying off debt. If someone, for example, is today and they're like, where do I start from? One, ensure that you're tracking your debt. There are people who are in debt and they don't even know how much interest is accruing on that debt.
Yeah.
We have a 20-year financial planning template. That template, like a master financial planning template, it has your net worth calculator. That is, because this is another thing, net worth is important. There are many people we see who seem rich, they're asset rich, they have buildings, they have all these things. But when you look at their debt,
it's bigger than their assets.
So your net worth, that is in accounting, that is what they call the balance sheet. Assets minus liabilities. That is actually what tells you your financial position.
Yeah.
So a template, you asked how we keep track. One of the things that has helped us is that template. It has the net worth calculator. We are able to put in there, do the math and see where are we standing in terms of assets vis-a-vis debt. As a couple, we have a personal principle. It's not for everyone, but we try as much as possible not to get debt. Unless, even for our home, for example, we built it with no debt.
No debt,
I know some people might be like, why would you do that? If the money you're getting, if the debt you're getting is not going to increase, either to put into something that you're sure overnight, generate money, better to stay away from it. But I know that discussion is on a personal basis. Different factors come at play. There's where you have to get debt and where, So one of the things that we have in that template, we've done a spreadsheet, put our net worth, calculated it, found a figure, moved on to our financial goals, defined them. How long is it going to take us to reach that goal? Actually quantified the figure, the amount of money we need to have arrived at by 20 or 30 years. Then we have a debt management tracker. In there, you're expected to have which bank is that debt in, who is in how long are you supposed to pay it, even salary loans. I know my fellow people who are employed, we have salary loans and it's like, you don't mind much about it. But how much money is going off every month from that debt? And after, for the period, maybe it's for 5 years, how much money will have accrued? To determine whether you should invest or first pay debt, do the math. Which one is accruing more interest? Some people go and invest, but they're investing, but really the debt here is accruing more. They're paying more in the debt interest than even what that investment is getting them. So clearing off that debt now becomes a priority. If the math is not mathing, you'd rather focus, pay off that debt, tick off one by one. There are two methods. There's the avalanche and the snowball. One, you pay the high interest debt first so that it gets out of the way. If it's overwhelming, you can decide to do first the tick off the smallest so that it gives you momentum. You tick off the guy maybe who gave you a car and you've never finished his payment, and you say kati enonjimaze. Of course, the car loans, for the car loans, usually they don't have interest, right? They don't have interest. The only problem is that they can impound that car.
Anytime.
So you need, in that tracker, that debt management tracker, you're also able to track and say, this is more important. You prioritize your debt based on interest, based on what could be the implication of you not paying immediately. And then start ticking off one by one.
Oh, so you guys have that tracker?
Yeah.
That tracker, every person who attends our
webinar,
it's given away for free as an addition.
Interesting. Okay. Now let me ask one final question before we get into the webinar. Do you involve children in your financial discussions and decision making? And what values do you want to instill in them about money management?
So yes, so our kids are, the oldest is now 6 years, 4 years, and then 1 year. Right now, we are trying to teach them the principles of finances. So for example, they know, by now they know, how do we make money? We earn from this. They have the piggy banks where they put
drop
their money. We give them money, but we tell them, do you want to use this money or you want to save it? It's important that you allow a child actually to make a decision. I know they will tell us, save, save, save. No, we actually give them the money and ask them, guys, there are two options. We either go and eat this money, buy you ABCD at a supermarket, or you save it. What do you think is better? Two of the children, and that's the thing about personality. They might make different decisions. One will say, Ami, let me go and eat my money. The other will say, no, let me keep my money. And we know of the two children who is likely to say that, the older ones. The 4-year-old usually wants quick return. If you are delayed gratification,
they want to invest.
No, he wants to eat. And that already tells you about his personality. We do not interfere in that decision, by the way. But we let them, when they make that decision, at the end, we see if the 6-year-old has more money at the end, his money is going to get her what? Her money is going to get her what she
wants.
If his money is done, that is what. So we try. The principle we have is that we teach them to make their own decisions, learn from their mistakes, and progress. Not trying to tell them. So there are decisions they make. Like, for example, when we go to a supermarket, we tell them, this is the budget we have. Go and buy what you want. Apart from, of course, there are things that we don't take. Maybe sodas, etc. Those ones we take on rare occasions. And
they know it's on birthday.
So you give them the money, they enter the supermarket, they pick whatever they want. If he picks a toy which is for 50,000, but his money is only 10K, he reaches at the counter, they tell him, no,
this is
more is it. And they go back.
They go back, they look
So we start slowly by slowly, but the key being teaching them decision making, taking responsibility and accountability for their decisions. And slowly by slowly they get there. But of course, the goal is eventually as they grow, we'll teach them, we involve them in whatever we are doing. But you start small.
Interesting. And finally, there's a question I have here. How can couples balance their financial goals with personal values and priorities? Well,
what we do, again, because if you go through our vision, we set which kind of values, personal. Let's say education is key on the agenda. Let's say all of us study, really, because we did our masters, and so we have to apportion. It's important to her. It's important to me that she also studies. So we put all of the things that you want to achieve. I want to, let's say, I plan this year, I want to get iPhone
16 Pro
Max. I'm not into the phones. She's into the phone. I'm still old. I'm now old. I hold my. But okay, whichever iPhone, we now say, okay, this is the iPhone that you want. Okay, how is it going to fit into? How long can we get it? Can we achieve it in 1 month? Can we achieve it in 2? Can we achieve it in 3? Can we achieve it in 6? Because the beauty about all of this is that there are dates. Let's say for iPhone. You know that in September, the latest is going to come out. So before you are shocked that the latest has come out, and now they are telling you this is the kind of amount of money you are supposed to pay, we plan for it. We say, okay, we are going to take off this amount of money to cater for what you want. So we break everything down. We break things down that what I like is captured in the budget. As I told you, the first thing is that people think a budget is the thing to control. For us, a budget is to direct our desires, what we want. If we have decided that, okay, we are going to go to this place and this place to have fun, it is also budgeted for. We are planned for it. It's not something that is going to come up and we are, it has come. For example, we know that our birthdays will come on 23rd December, me and hers. So we are planned for it. We don't plan for it on on that time when it has arrived.
You plan at the beginning of the year?
It has already been planned for.
Nice.
So we know what we want to achieve in that. So the budget is there to direct our feelings, our visions, our values, our interest. That's how we align the budget. You align your budget to what you want to achieve. So that we avoid some things that come up. You see, like my beautiful wife who buys these wigs which are very expensive.
Expired.
Expired.
So we know, she knows
Personal care
budget to be there, so that there's no feeling guilty that I did not buy what it is there. Whichever amount that has remained, it's there. So you decide, do you want to consume all of it once, or you want? So it's just that discipline that teaches us that all these small things that come up. For example, we have giving in our budget. It's part of it.
Which is a reflection of our values, actually.
Which is a reflection of our values.
Someone else might not have it, but for us, it is.
You have it.
Yes. When
Giving is important,
The people we want to be and what we're trying to drive, giving is one of them, and it's reflected in the budget.
In the budget, yes.
So your budget should be a reflection of your values.
Of your values.
Not that you go and copy and paste someone's budget and...
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have giving there. So in case of giving, sometimes somebody called me and said, I want to say, I said, when I checked my giving budget is already done. It's maxed. So I can't help you now. You have to be also honest and brutally honest with you. I can't help you now because it's also part of the budget. Maybe I will plan for you in the next one. Teaches us to be accountable, but we direct our values, whichever that we want. We put it in the budget. If we want to have fun, and that's one thing that people think that if you want to have fun, that you must wait to have that fun. You can schedule that plan, that fun. If it's you want to go to Bahamas and enjoy, have a budget for it. Again, it goes back to a budget. How much are tickets? How much is a hotel? How much is this? Then once you have that, then you plan. Don't wait. Let life not happen to you. You plan for the life.
Plan for the life.
Yes.
And something about planning a year in advance. One of the things we do is we have and I mean it's common sense, but most people don't do it. Yet when the year is beginning, get that calendar, put it out there. There are things, a big percentage of things we do every year are repetitive. You know that your child in May will have a birthday. You know that your school fees is coming up. In term 1 is at this time, term 2, the days are there, they are fixed. What people do is that they do annual planning, but they don't put the financial cost to it. Go into your calendar, mark the things that are obvious. Because most times they are. You find actually your calendar is already full up to December. By just doing it in December, you start and plan, say, 2026 calendar, put it in there. For everything you've put a financial cost to it. If it is school, put school fees. I've seen sometimes most people, school fees time comes and like you're panicking or you pay school fees and that whole month you're not eating. Like, which is understandable. Man, school fees is tight these days, yeah? But what we advise that you do or what we do is that we try to make it a fixed cost per month. Even before the term comes, you are already cut. Every month, you remove a portion of school fees. Not waiting when the school fees comes and then you're like, my God, school fees. And then that whole time so when the year is beginning, just sit and put, there's a video we did where we're telling people that we set our budget for the year in advance. Companies do that. But the truth is that you should be able to estimate, at least have an estimate of your annual budget. Sit down, plot it. By the time, each month you again review, January, February, March, April. Some things might change, but it saves you from inflationary, it's called lifestyle inflation, that when your money increases, suddenly your life also increases. Because you've already predetermined from even the beginning of the year where your money is going to go.
Interesting. Now, as we are closing, we'd like you to tell us about what you do as a couple and how people can benefit more from you guys and where they can find you. You've talked about a webinar. Tell us more about the webinar.
Okay, so what we do, first of all, we are both lawyers. I think we mentioned that from the start. There's a law firm called Ekima Advocates. I am employed. I work with a company, an oil and gas company, as an in-house lawyer. Beyond that, our calling, our purpose is to build strong families.
Families.
Passion, we have, each of us has a unique goal and purpose in life, but together, that is the call that we have to empower couples as much as possible in different areas. How are we doing that now? Currently, we do offer premarital counseling at our church, All Saints. That one we do free of charge. It's our way of giving back to the church. Premarital counseling. So if you're going to wed at All Saints, you never know, they might throw you with that. And then we also do, recently we launched the Family Vision webinar, the 20-year Family Vision webinar. What is it about? It is a webinar where we help couples because at some point, I think we've shared, we were unaligned. We used to fight over finances, over what is more important, what is not important. My husband likes to spoil kids, me, I'm serious. So we had to find a way of finding a middle ground. And that is when we sat down and actually created our 20-year vision. So we have a webinar that runs every so often where we take through couples how to craft their 20-year family vision, how to create a one-money vision. We advise them under there. We have financial planning as a couple, because sometimes financial planning seems straightforward until it's a family. So we go through step by step all the topics: debt management, investment planning, estate planning. He's really an expert at that. How do you organize your estate in a way that if you die today, your family would easily pick it up, run with it, and pass it on to the next generation. Why did we create this webinar? It was a compilation of our experiences, but also our practice as lawyers, the chaos that we see families going through. You even see it in the news. People are fighting. Someone was really, really wealthy, but somehow everything dies with them. So we said, let us create one place. Everything we've used, our templates, our budget, we have an annual spreadsheet. All the systems that we've used to help us be aligned, we put them into that place. It's usually a 2-day webinar, about 9 hours. We give you a 50-page 20-year financial planning guide, like a 48-page 20-year family vision, annual planning. All of that is in one place. And it's just very cheap. 200,000 Uganda shillings, or about $58. But we guarantee it will transform how you view things. We promised we are going to give you a gift, every person who's watching this, a guide to help you evaluate your financial standing. It's just a financial evaluation guide. I think Emeka will link it below. If you want to find alignment, as we shared, maybe this resonated with you, the webinar recording and the templates and guides will be there for you as well for purchase.
So they're going to share the link. Just go to my bio, actually even in the caption.
In the description.
The link is there. Go there and learn more about finances and building a family vision. Banange, let's build happy marriages.
By force.
By force, by fire. Banange, we are tired of people saying marriage is a scam, marriage is a scam. And there's some people saying marriage is a scam. There's some people saying those men.
And for us, the good ones, we are quiet.
The good ones, we are quiet.
You're enjoying.
You're enjoying.
But you're not coming out to tell people that good things are
to
there.
make noise until
They are putting in the work. So guys, marriage is work. Put in the work. You see very many people like things on a silver plate. Guys, marriage is work. Put in the work and you'll get the benefit. You'll reap the benefits.
Emeka, there's something you've not told these people. Emeka was our MC at our
wedding. At the wedding. MC their wedding. Oh my God.
How did you not bring that up?
I don't know how it actually
I even skipped my mind also. And if I'm not mistaken, it was your first wedding.
Was it?
No, it was among my first weddings that paid me a lot of money. Hey, these guys paid me a lot of. They gave me money. I was like, and by the way, Ekima gave me my first ever paying gig in life. Ekima gave me my first ever gig that paid me still good money. I was at campus. And then I was like, so man, Ekima has been my guy. And it's really been good. Guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for hosting us.
Yes, and to anyone out there, look out for the Ekimas, their YouTube channel.
Yes.
It's the Ekimas.
The Ekimas and all the social media platforms.
And all the social media
Instagram,
platforms.
TikTok.
Subscribe to their channel. Follow them. These guys, They are like a Bible of knowledge. So in case you want to get in touch with them, just look out for them on their social medias. You'll get them. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
for
God
having
bless
us.
you. That's it. Please keep on liking, subscribing, sharing. If you feel this episode has impacted your life, type below and say, I have been impacted. We want to see the comments and share.
it.
And share. I'll share the screenshots with them. Till next time, God bless you and bye.